Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. We are from group 3. We will discuss about the experiential metafunction. This is the member of group 3, Khairiyah Nadhifa, Muhammat Rijal, it's me, and Lutpia, Razita, Asyiah. Next, the materials. The experiential metafunction. Holiday originally proposed that the experiential metafunction was one of the three main metafunctions. It is also called as clauses representation because the clause represents the content of our experience. Answering the question, what does what to whom? Experiential metafunction uses the grammatical system of transitivity, and experiential metafunction offers use researches to encode our experience of the world to convey a picture of reality. This clause gives information about what is happening, who is taking part, and surrounding circumstances, where, when, how, and etc. The next is building up a clause. Functional constituents of the clause are participant, process, and circumstances. Participant realized by nominal groups, process realized by verbal groups, circumstances realized by adverbial group, prepositional phrase, or nominal group. For example, Ariana is singing on the stage. The next is clause as representation. Semantic consists with lexicogrammatical, process consists with verbal group, participant consists with nominal group, and circumstance consists with adverbial group and prepositional phrase.
Okay, for the next material will be explained by me. In building up a clause, we have three rules which are process, participants, and circumstance. So I will start by process first. Process is used to connect participants and their circumstance. So there are 6 kinds of process which are material process, mental process, verbal process, existential process, relational process, and behavioral process. Take a look at the examples. The first one is material process. Material process is used to indicate cycle actions. For example, the machine works well. The word works here indicate the cycle action of machine in material process. The second one is mental process. Mental process is used to express thoughts or feeling. For example, I enjoyed the film. The word enjoyed here expresses the thought or feeling which belongs to mental process. The third one is verbal process. Verbal process is a process of saying. For example, John asked him a question. The next one is behavioral process. Behavioral process is used to indicate the psychological activity. For example, the baby cried for hours. The clause here indicates the psychological activity which belongs to behavioral process. The next one is existential process is used to indicate the existence. For example, there is a child inside a room. The word there is used to indicate the existence of the child inside the room which belongs to existential process. And the last one is relational process is used to indicate status of being or having. For example, the boss has very expensive car. The word has here indicates the having an expensive car of the boss, which belongs to relational process. The second rule is participant. Participants are the people, things, places, or ideas participating in a process being spoken or written about. Participant may be categorized as human, non-human, concrete, abstract, specific, and non-specific. In human participant, we have example, dad sits on the chair. In non-human participant, the example is vanilla is my favorite taste. In concrete participant, we have example, the jug was full. The abstract participant, the example is happiness is precious. The specific participant, we have example, those books are mine. And the non-specific participant, we have example, sharks are dangerous. Participants are represented by noun groups. For example, the four wonderful Blackpink girl band. The noun groups can contain the following elements: determiners, numeratives, describes, and classifiers. In determiners, the examples are the children or those children. In numeratives, we have example, two children, a couple of children, and some children. In describes, we have example, attractive children, tall children, naughty children. And classifiers, we have example, school children, primary children, and Australian children.
The next material is circumstances. Circumstances refer to how far, how long, how often, when, where, with whom, and as what in a clause. Circumstances are realized through prepositional phrases, adverbial groups, and noun groups. First, circumstances give information about how, when, where, or why a process takes place and can be reported by prepositional phrases. Prepositions are part of speech that indicate relationships between words. Usually, this relationship is expressed in terms of time and space. A phrase is a small group of words that makes some sense but doesn't contain a finite verb. Many phrases begin with a preposition. Example, there was a stone in my boot. So the circumstance of the sentence is in my boot. And then she works with a computer. So the circumstance of the sentence is with a computer. Second, circumstances give information about how, when, where, how often, and to what degree a process takes place, and can be reported by adverbial groups. Adverbs are modifiers that say something extra about a verb, adjective, or another adverb. When one or more adverb is used to describe a process, it is called an adverbial group. Example, she almost fell asleep. Almost is the additional information of the verb fell. Bob arrived at school very early. The words very early is the additional information of verb arrived. Tara is standing there. There is the additional information of the verb is standing. Third, circumstances give information about where and when a process takes place and can be reported by noun groups. Example, Stella has her own room upstairs. The words upstairs is the additional information about her own room. Stella has exam next week. Next week is the additional information about when Stella's exam is. Stella studies the lesson all day long. All day long is the additional information about when Stella studied the lesson is. The last material is nominalization. Nominalization is the changing of a process into a participant or change a verb into a noun. Example, the snow fell heavily can be changed to the falling of the snow was heavy. So in the first sentence, fell as a verb, and in the second example, verb fell changed to be a noun.